This one and one more. Going Dark.
all depends on your skill. This is what the world is watching. CFM. Bring it on. Video game news.
And it's time again for CFM Radio. Happy Wednesday. Here with me as
Welcome
always.
back.
Is Drake.
Yes. Good to be with you guys once again. How you doing tonight, Vector?
Doing good, Drake's doing good. Today was a big day for gaming.
Yeah. One giant trailer-packed video came out on our home here on YouTube.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And hey, a hell of a presentation from Sony, the State of Play. We are going to be talking about it here in a moment, rather soon. But first, we wanted to get a couple of things out of the way. And the thing that I wanted to get out of the way, Drix, was I wanted to congratulate you.
Who, me?
Yes, sir, on acing Super Mario RPG Remake. That he finished that one over on our Twitch channel, CFM on Twitch, if you missed that. And we are slowly uploading the archives to that. Drix, now that you're done with that, how do you feel about it? How do you like that?
Dude, I supremely enjoyed that. I finished like the story. Every boss was memorable and the story was cool and compelling. You know, Bowser thinks Mario's just one of his minions, which I find hilarious. You kind of see you see a side of Bowser that you don't really see in most games when he's like kind of vulnerable, and you know, you might catch a glimpse of it in the movie or something, what with the whole Peaches song and everything. But yeah, lots of beautifully reimagined like visuals and cutscenes. No voiceover, but yeah, I get what some of the critics might have said when they said, oh, it might be limited by some of its 90s Super Nintendo style of storytelling, but the isometric puzzles and Mario dungeons, like we were talking about it on the stream, like this is what a Mario dungeon should feel like.
No, absolutely.
And
I thought I
definitely got the most of that in the last run, the last couple hours of the game,
which was
finishing
awesome.
it.
I was there watching.
Yeah.
I was there watching in the stream. It was pretty awesome. I loved watching you. It was cool to watch, mainly because that was your first time through that.
Yeah. No, I think after we got to Nimbus Town, then yeah, that is pretty much the farthest I had ever been in that game.
Hell yeah, and that was so cool. It was so cool to see you go through that and get your genuine reactions to everything. Like, it's truly a charming game. Nintendo did a great job of preserving all of the charm, all the humor, the laugh out loud humor, fantastic. I thought there were a lot of great moments, especially when you're watching your stream, where you were just, I don't want to speak for you, but it seemed like you were like taken aback in a pleasant way.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like,
yeah, definitely some cool surprises, and I like all the quality of life improvements that they made with like the gauge and the chains and the special moves, and you know, you get to autosave everywhere, but like I kept saying throughout the stream, like, oh, save used to be a place, man. You used to have to go to this place, this cube that lights up with stars and stuff, and you used to have to go all the way back there. And I think
very true.
Yeah, they got rid of some of the more tedious aspects of a Super Nintendo RPG and made it a really fun, streamlined experience. And there's still a ton of like mini games and post-game stuff that's there to enjoy, but I'll do that on my personal time. I'd like to get another stream started soon. You know, we've got Retro Goldmine and RPG Theater going, and we'll see what kind of tasty treats Clusterfuck Media can bring you there.
Speaking of that, let's move on to the next little bit of housekeeping that we wanted to do before we jump into CFM Radio proper, which is the results are in for the poll of the next Tuesday show. And the Tuesday show, I don't think is going to be a Retro Goldmine series because I'm going to be taking the reins of the RPG theater. I'm stepping up on stage, and we're going to be playing because thank you everyone, by the way, for participating on YouTube, here on YouTube, participating on Facebook, Clusterfucked Media on Facebook. Thank you very much. And the winner of that poll is Jade Cocoon on the PlayStation 1. That is a classic JRPG, 3D JRPG, tank controls, old school style tank controls. But it came in around the same, like at the tail end of the Pokemon craze. Like there was a lot of Pokemon copycats, and then Jade Cocoon was kind of like Sony's, I don't want to say a half-hearted attempt, because it's really not, and don't you worry, it's going to I'll definitely show you guys why I don't think it is in the retro, or in the, not the retro goldmine, in the RPG theater playthrough that I'm going to do on Tuesdays, because I gotta tell you, Jade Cocoon, it's a classic for more than one reason. Not only is the gameplay, the turn-based gameplay, pretty good, but all of the in-game cinematics and cutscenes are actually animated by none other than Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, and this is, what, like a decade and a half at least before Ni no Kuni or anything like that?
It's 1998, I believe, Jade Cocoon for the PS1. So yeah, talk about proto Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, the style is there, very evident as well as artistic.
And it is interesting now that you bring that up. Now that I'm actually sitting and stewing in that, it's funny to me, Ni no Kuni and Jade Cocoon, both RPG franchises where you capture monsters.
Yeah, more or less.
Do RPG battles, and they're no spoilers, but both of them in classic Studio Ghibli storytelling fashion are very familial stories. They have to do with family and finding yourself in your community and finding your role in your community and what you can do to help your community. Both Ni no Kuni and Jade Cocoon are like that. So yeah, I definitely think that's a good little bit of insight, Drix. Flexing that retro game knowledge there. Definitely Jade Cocoon, I would say, is one of the proto Ni no Kuni type of games. Not Jade Cocoon 2, but the first Jade Cocoon. Like,
yes.
And one more thing before we jump into the show proper. I want to get it right out of the way. And that is really, really quick. I don't like to give reviews of games like this, so I'm just going to give my impressions as of today. That's Palworld. First
impressions, if you will.
Yes, that's Palworld. Impressions after about 80 hours.
Okay.
So this is Palworld. A lot of the footage for the record, I played the bulk of this game in single player, both hard mode and normal mode. I quote unquote finished the game.
Okay.
Which is to say, I got about as far as you could in the early access period that they have here, which actually is pretty hefty. I would definitely say the game is, if you're just trying to complete I'm getting too hard. I'm getting too ahead of myself. The Palworld is being a lot, or is going around and talked about a lot as Pokemon with guns.
Yeah, in short.
I'm here to tell you that this is Ark with Pokemon.
Yeah, from what I've seen, that's a more accurate description as well.
Yeah, it's 100% Ark with Pokemon, and that's not to say that is that there's anything wrong with that, and that's not to say that's not fun. In fact, I am not a fan of these survival crafter games too much. I'm not a big Ark guy. I was into Rust in a little bit, like Fallout 76 bounced off of it. Like all survival crafting. Not a Minecraft fan. I'll put it out there. Not into Minecraft.
Me neither.
So like these games, they don't usually tickle my fancy, but this one got me, Drix.
Oh yeah.
This one got me.
Got you hooked.
It got me. I'm hooked a little bit now. Again, I'm about 80 hours deep. A lot of the footage that you're seeing is not me in my single player. It's me in the multiplayer server that a couple of me and my friends are in right now, on the Steam version. To be fair, the bulk of what I played was on the Game Pass version, which I don't know about anybody else. I've heard a lot of things that it doesn't run as good. It's definitely more limited. You definitely don't have access to the 16-player servers like you do in the PC version, 16 to 32 player servers.
Oh.
But it's still a great... On Game Pass, it's a great experience as it is right now from start to finish. I'll say it like this: Palworld's world that they offer you, it definitely rivals some retail game releases. The combat mechanics and the traversal mechanics, they're a little wonky. Traversal is very Breath of the Wild, at least when you're on foot. Very, very much Breath of the Wild callbacks. The building and crafting feels a lot more like Minecraft, or not Minecraft. Feels a lot more like Fortnite than anything else. But there are currently 5 bosses and 4 legendary pals, and the systems in the game are decently intricate. The breeding is the deepest system, to the point where I'm a big fan of the Digimon games, mainly because you can customize your monsters almost to the T. It's not really breeding in that game, it's just like combining their data. But
download
them. But this game gives you that same amount of customization, which is a ton, to be fair, down to the traits. That's the big the big separator between this and Pokemon on the monster side. Quick detour on the monsters. Monsters, they're okay. As you're seeing it in the B-roll, they do well. They do well and behave fine in the open world. They're a little wonky in the base when you're trying to make your things automated and trying to make it like a little monster factory, you know what I mean? Make your dudes, put them on the conveyor belt, make Pokeballs for you all day, you could do that kind of shit. But they are a little wonky. They do run into each other. They do get in loops where they pick their shit up, run into each other, drop their shit, look at each other, realize they dropped their shit, and then pick it back up. Try to get to where they're going, run into each other, drop the shit, like that happens. You have a lot of early access moments like that when the game tries to punch above its weight just a little bit, trying to do a lot of things at once. That includes traversal, there's a lot of wonky physics, that includes capturing your Pokeball or your Pal Sphere. It's going to go through your enemy a lot more than it's going to hit them for a capture. There's you see it in the B-roll. It also leads to a lot of good moments of brutality, because you'll see and again, these pals, the legally distinct Pokemon, are they do enough where it's that's not Arcanine, but it definitely reminds me of Arcanine. And
yeah, Inspirato.
Yeah, and Arcanine would definitely not charge a guy into a wall and ragdoll him.
No, not typical Arcanine behavior.
And that is the those moments are the reason you play Palworld. Palworld is a game where if you're a big survival craft guy, the mechanics and the building on display, it's not going to blow your socks off at all. You've seen better, you can go and play better. The combat mechanics and traversal mechanics, not fantastic, They don't do anything new or special. You've seen them before, including even up to and including capturing the Pokemon themselves. Like, capturing the pals themselves feels remarkably like Pokemon Legends Arceus, and that's not an insult or any like, a lot of people are like, oh, this game's plagiarizing people. I'm not going to sit here and try to go to bat for the multi-billion-dollar company. That is a shot in Palworld's favor. That is a good comment. It feels solid. Everything feels borrowed. If you don't mind that, the way everything comes together is rather fun and charming and addicting. And
yeah,
you do just
it's like a little homage. Never hurt anybody.
No, not at all. And it's interesting because you do get kind of lost for hours in this little world that feels very fleshed out. It feels like there's no dead ends. There's none of that. That's the best part about the game. At least right now, especially for an early access title. There's not a ton of this dead end shit, under construction, coming later, coming soon. The world's here, and it works. Like, and I'm sure that it'll be, expanded upon. You'll be able to generate your own world soon, right? But the world that they give you of the Palpagos Islands, they feel
nice.
pretty fleshed out, and if 9 times out of 10, if you go down, if you go off the beaten path and go through the woods and into a cave, your efforts will be rewarded.
Wow, it's not like a naked planet in Starfield.
No, and it's not like how Rust used to be, where there's just like literally fucking nothing anywhere until you find another person and then you shoot them. Call that a survival game. Yeah, it's not like that. There's a lot to do in here. There's a lot to sink your teeth into. It's definitely not for everyone. If one of these things does not hook you, nothing is.
Yeah,
and I can understand
probably
why.
Know.
And I could understand why. And I could totally understand why. None of these, as I said, none of the main mechanics are done great. Everything is borrowed and definitely feels like a second-rate version of everything else from every other franchise that they borrow it from. But I gotta say, at the end of the day, I found my... not to mention the character creator, very bare bones. But then again, when I got character creators that allow me to customize my dong, and, then you have Street Fighter 6, that's the best character creator since fucking Fallout 4. I don't really blame them for that. It gets the job done, you know what I mean? This is my multiplayer character in the B-roll. He's a little orc man, I made a little orc.
Sweet.
That's cool for me, cool enough for me, But anyway, Palworld, if this is your flavor of game, go for it. You're going to have a great time. If you're into survival crafting because of the mechanics and how you can make an intricate fortress and automate everything, not really. It's not quite there. If you really like exploring and you want procedurally generated worlds that never have an ending, that's also not really how it is. You can master this world. It does not randomize, really. Random events happen and patrols go through the world and stuff like that, and there are little factions. There's also no real story. There's not the narrative is in little text journals that you find. So definitely not for everybody, especially in the early access state. But if you wanted more out of a game like Pokemon Legends Arceus, if you wanted a more hands-on approach to that kind of idea, if you wanted Arc with a little bit more heart, if you wanted an accessible crafting game, that's the thing. There's no bullshit in this game. Everything is straight up. When it all kind of just works. Like I said, it's pretty Fortnite-like. So you're not going to there's nothing arbitrary. You're not going to run into weird arbitrage. You can't build this. Well, why not? Because you didn't put this wall at the right angle. You know what I mean? It's okay. Everything just kind of fits like Legos at the end of the day. So...
Yeah,
Palworld,
there's no wrong way to hit it with an axe.
Not really, no. And crafting, crafting is streamlined. There's rocks, ore, wood, There's not like fucking wood, oak, petrified wood, ore, steel, copper, iron. There's none of that shit. It's all streamlined.
Huh.
So
Nice.
one wood. If you need wood, any wood. If you need rocks, any rocks. If you need ore, any ore.
Well then.
Where the game splits hairs is like ammo. Like you need this kind of ammo for this gun, which makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds pretty Fallout right there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, the survival game for non-survival fans.
Yes.
Who, might enjoy a good remix. For fans of a good remix.
Absolutely. So that's Palworld. I really like it. I really enjoy it. I like the multiplayer. I like the single player. You can get really lost in it. Playing with friends is actually quite fun. You can tweak your server settings and all that kind of stuff to make it as easy or as hard as you would like it to be. There's also more interesting settings like setting building degradation to 0 so that you can build infrastructure around the world itself. So, there's a lot to the game, and for an early access title, and especially if you can play it on Game Pass, go for it. I say that everybody, if you can give Palworld a shot, give it a shot. If you don't want to spend the $30 on Steam, don't worry about it. Don't. You're not missing much.
That sounds like a pretty astute assumption. A nice first impression, Vector.
Thank you very much, Drix. And I'm gonna let this Palworld B-roll run in the back for a little while we jam out. What are we gonna jam out to, my brother?
Right now we got an arcade game called Magical Chase. The song is called As Your Way.
As Your Way, CFM Radio. We'll be back with the State of Play.
CFM Radio. Clusterfuck Media. CFM Radio.
I'm working in the flea market so early. I've been working here since my mama was a baby. Just because the rhythm is slow, that don't mean that you can't flow. In the rain or in the snow,
in the rain or in the snow,
got the funky flow.
got the funky flow.
In the rain or in the snow,
In the rain or in the snow,
got the funky flow.
got the funky flow.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly.
Remember, strike it rich, the key is love. Save everybody from way up above. I can sell a bottle cap like this.
I will try to sell a cap like this.
I can sell a bottle cap like this.
I will try to sell a cap like this.
I never dream it would be like this. I am the number one ruler of the seven seas. The skunk over here will bring you luck.
The skunk over here will bring you luck.
The pump over here comes with the truck.
The pump over here comes with the truck.
Oh yes, I had a lot of fun. I made a lot of bucks and now I'm on the run. In the rain or in the snow,
In the rain or in the snow,
got the funky flow.
got the funky flow.
In the rain or in the snow,
In the rain or in the snow,
got the funky flow.
got the funky flow.
Let me tell you something that I never told you before. Listen this. I have never sold everything.
I have never sold everything.
You have never sold everything.
You have never sold everything.
Money is all you need.
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 You're probably gonna be very proud of you. Let me know if you have another flea market. I will help you. Or you will
CFM.
Got that right, teacher.
Triumph or die!
CFM Radio, we're back.
We are back and we are live. That was True Love Makin' from Capcom versus SNK, followed by At the Flea Market, the Prince Flea Swallow stage from Parappa the Rappa. And right now we got a Planet Protector, the Junior Division battle song from a Monster Rancher-like game by Halico for the PS1 called Dragon Seeds, which is obscure but a good time if you can still play that one.
I love Dragon Seed, but a classic PlayStation game. But we're just gonna jump right into this play. Speaking of PlayStation, we're gonna jump right into the PlayStation State of Play that happened today. If anybody didn't see it, we're gonna jump into the biggest one right now, Drix, and I think you and I would both agree that the biggest game that was talked about at the State of Play was Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, if anybody's gonna know what to do with PS5 hardware, it's gonna be Hideo Kojima. And boy, we might see a bit more action in this one than the first one. It looks like there's a little more Metal Gear style. Yeah, Metal Gear style gunplay. At least that, from what I saw, that's kind of what it looked like. But Sam Porter Bridges is back once again in a Stranding type game and connecting the worlds after, some abysmal events. I liked the first one, and I would love to see where they take this. It's going to be a cinematic masterpiece, guaranteed.
I mean, Kojima always delivers on the drama and the atmosphere. He definitely makes everything he touches into a cinematic experience. I really think Death Stranding 1, gameplay-wise, not my cup of tea. Didn't think it was a super groundbreaking game. I always tell people it's a great story, but when push comes to shove, as a game, it feels like an Uber Eats simulator. And
yes, the mechanics alone, if you're not, overwhelmed with the drama and every once in a while getting those highly intense moments of being chased by weird ghosts or having a strange boss battle that just seems sort of obscure and off the wall. Other than that, it sure is a lot of walking.
And hey, listen, I'm not saying that the balancing system in that game wasn't good or didn't feel good to play. I'm not saying anything like that. The gameplay systems were interesting, and it was interesting to engage with them. It was interesting to balance out your whole your load for your adventure depending on what terrain you were going to be encountering. Definitely an interesting way to look at gameplay, but as you guys can see in Death Stranding 2, zombie Norman Reedus over here, he's being outfitted with guns. It's looking like it might be a little bit more action-based, familiar faces from the past coming back at you. So, this game definitely looks pretty cool. I like the first Death Stranding. I stuck with it. Like, I got to the end. Like, it was a pretty cool game. I just didn't think, I'm not about to go and tell anybody to go play it.
Yes, there's enough pressure to watch anime shows, but gunplay is back on the menu from
I guess so.
Kojima Sensei.
I guess so. So I'm definitely looking forward to Death Stranding 2. Looking forward to seeing what Kojima and Norman Reedus have to bring to the table. I'm happy to see something like this coming back. I'm happy to see it being a PlayStation production. I'm happy. Hey, you know what? There's just, at this point, buying that PlayStation, if you bought a PlayStation for Baldur's Gate 3, you're getting your money's worth and more. So,
yeah,
I definitely, with this one specifically, definitely a crowd pleaser. Very impressive, looking very good. If this doesn't sell you on next generation, I don't know what will.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the greatest looking face scanning going on. I love that. I do like following the man himself and seeing who's coming into the Kojima Productions building and what kind of wacky scientific things they're going to do to them to put them in a video game, and
I know.
Maybe even enlist the help of some A-listers from Hollywood across the ocean.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? And he's got, Jordan Peele on his side these days, making another game? That's going to be a good one. It's going to be a great time. So, Death Stranding 2, I think it looks great. Now, was there any other games was there anything else that stuck out to you?
I mean, Foam Stars is going to see a release. The Silent Hill. We're getting not only they said they're doing not just a remake, but there's going to be a free downloadable Silent Hill.
Yes.
And, just add that to the list of things that's going to get me a PS5 much sooner.
I'll pull that up right now.
Yeah, so...
Right? It's true. Which to me, I think is the right call.
Psychological experience, yeah, what better way to do it than to place your camera, as close as you can to the individual at eye level, so you can experience the full impact of these jump scares and just grotesque abominations that occupy Silent Hill.
Absolutely, and not only that, but there's also like you said, there's the extra. I forgot what they called it. There's the extra episode, the free one. It's a free to play Silent Hill. It's gonna be what's they said it's what's next for the franchise. So
yeah.
So we have the simultaneously the best
short message. That's what it's called.
Short message. Simultaneously the best Silent Hill, probably historically speaking, the best Silent Hill being re-released alongside a brand new free Silent Hill experience. So Silent Hill fans, hey, you know what? Listen, I know Silent Hill fans may have felt like they got done dirty with that like interactive TV show. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you on that one. We're in a weird little media landscape. Things are a little bit wild, so it's been a little bit experimental. So
yeah, Konami probably makes more money with gambling machines anyway.
Absolutely, the pachinko machines and the gambling machines are everywhere. You go to Vegas, there's Konami machines everywhere. So
yep.
But anyway, I'm definitely all in on Silent Hill 2. I really, really am excited to see what they do with this remake. Including the extra features that they say that they're gonna do. Like, it should be a good time. I'm looking forward to Silent Hill 2, one of my favorite horror games of all time. But I will say another one of these games that I'm really, really looking forward to is, especially as someone who's really, really wanting something like it's gonna look good. I am looking forward to Stellarblade.
Yeah. I mean, there's a good, solid helping of, like, interesting sci-fi concepts here. And, yeah, it seems like that one's going to have a really interesting story about, post-apocalyptic Earth and, people living underground and trying to rebuild and malfunctioning machines, more AI warnings and stuff.
Right.
So you can't really ask for more in a sci-fi tale.
Very interesting concept.
It touches on that, like, is it anime? Like, there's a lot of girls on screen, but, like, not quite. It doesn't look super, I don't know, cartoony. No. But, I don't know, big eyes on everyone. It is nice to look at. And it seems like there's a lot of fun combat and mechanics that's going to keep us entertained.
Right,
and
that's what I'm
getting to the bottom of this crazy story.
I like all the themes. I like the characters. I'm excited to see them get fleshed out. I like the action combat, and like I said, especially as a PS5 owner, this kind of is the game that I've been waiting for. Character action style, action combat focused game made specifically for the PS5. We had Returnal, and that's a great roguelite bullet hell style shooter, and I really liked Returnal, but I'm looking for that next gen Devil May Cry experience, and I'm hoping Stellarblade can deliver that for me.
Yes, in a pretty package.
Absolutely. And speaking of action games coming out on the PS5, what'd you think of Rise of the Ronin?
That is looking very nice. A nice little dive into, like, Edo Japan and samurai, and not just with, like, Souls-like hard lock parrying action, but also with the, like, have your own alternate history battles, where that one seems, I hope it comes off a bit like Fable, where your choices actually have an impact. That was the impression I got from that trailer, was there's going to be some choices to be made, and from the time when sword wielding dudes were wandering the countryside and just discovered guns, in the port of Yokohama. So one of the, most popularized eras and settings in fiction, but you get to tell your own story this time.
Yeah, man. I definitely am into Ghost of Tsushima with guns.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
super duper into it. I loved the again, another game that focuses on action combat, puts a little bit of a spin on it with these finishing moves and incorporating guns and projectiles into the action combat, parrying with a gun, parrying with a Gatling gun, parrying with a flamethrower, using your gun to execute a finishing move while they still have a ton of XP by knocking them down and shooting them in the face, fighting monsters or like big weird guys like you're seeing in the B-roll right now. Like it looks really cool, and I really like, again, as a PS5 owner, I'm looking for games like these. I'm looking for games that's gonna satisfy. They gave me a taste of it with Spider-Man 2, but I want more. I want more of these games that are gonna make me feel like, you're gonna put give me a great graphical feast, like a feast for the eyes, and then hit me with this awesome immersive action gameplay. So, and absolutely, I believe Rise of the Ronin is going to be one of those games that really tries to push you into that hyper action focused gameplay style, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I wonder if the for all you Assassin's Creed fans, there is that grappling hook and glider mechanic while you're exploring and climbing walls and stuff. I wonder if that's going to come with any kind of like haptic feedback in the PS5 controller.
I was thinking
what's
about
that going to feel like?
I was thinking about that too. I'm always thinking about what they're going to do with the controller, because I do love the PS5 controller.
We haven't had an Assassin's Creed on PS5 yet, right?
Not a proper one. Not a real one.
Nope.
Not a real one. You're right. I didn't even think about that.
Now that we're thinking about it.
Now that I'm sitting and stewing in it, you're right. I'm really, really, interesting. Now it makes me want to play this game even more.
Yep. There you go. Hype train. Let's do it.
Let's go. And you know what? Speaking of the hype train, I'm going to jump on the hype train with a personal favorite of mine. And I don't know how many people were like, oh my God, whoa, when they saw this one. But I know I was like blown away as a fan. Sonic Cross Shadow Generations.
Woohoo!
Drix,
yeah, we do love our Sonic. Yeah, play a lot of Sega and Capcom music, but Sonic is definitely up there on the playlists. Drix, hard not to just play Sonic songs.
Oh my fucking God, dude. So here, I was talking to Drix before the show, and I gotta say, Shadow is a great character. They really, like, as far as like storylines, before anybody says anything, I'll get the memes out of the way. Storylines in the Sonic game, funny. But as far as a storyline in a Sonic game, as far as a character that they obviously care about.
Yeah.
In the
one of the latest editions.
Not really, dude. Check it. It's like what? Over 15 years this guy's been around?
Yeah,
like,
the Wii is still new, right?
Yeah, you're right. So the 3DS. No, like I said, I'm like super duper hyped for this. Shadow is like I said, he's always to me been like a kind of misunderstood character, because he had the game where you shoot the guns, and then he was in Sonic 06, was just a shitty game all around, and he just gets memed on, and it doesn't really, like. But if you're like me and you've been a Sonic fan since the beginning and played through some Adventure 2, he's a good character, and I'm happy to see him get the spotlight focused on him. It's as a Sonic fan, it's interesting to see the direction that they're just giving a whole, especially as like an add-on content, or as like a Sonic Generations Turbo release, I guess.
Yeah, almost.
Like Sonic Generations Turbo, Sonic Generations EX.
Like Championship Hyper Fighting, Hyper Gunfighting
and
Edition.
Shadow, like You know, so it really, really cool. I'm happy to see it. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and they'll probably polish up anything that was a little too clunky for the older original releases.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I'm hoping. I am absolutely hoping for a little bit more polish when it comes to the Shadow stuff with this release, because let me tell you, holy shit, that stuff was not polished.
Not on the PS2 anyway.
Not at all. Or on the Xbox 360 with Sonic 06. But I digress. It's cool. It's cool to see Shadow getting a spotlight just in time for the Knuckles show to lead into Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the movie, in which he will be a character. So
Nice. Best color scheme.
yeah, absolutely, red and black, baby.
Darth Maul.
But I can't. A jam just came on that I cannot ignore. Drinks, what is this?
You know, this is a surprisingly sweet track from Pictionary on the NES.
Oh.
Should not go this hard, but it does.
Pictionary, NES, going hard. CFM Radio.
Triumph or die!
Gaming News Clusterfuck News.
I'm hanging on to the other side. I won't give up till the end of me.
CFM Radio. CFM.
Welcome to the mind of a different kind, where we've been growing slowly. Think I'm on 11, but I'm on a 9. Guess you don't really know me. Running from the past is a losing game. It never brings you glory. Been down this road before, already know the story.
CFM Radio.
CFM Radio. We are back. Before we jump into some new releases, really quick, I know we had a couple of more games that were on the the PlayStation State of Play. We have ports. Dave the Diver port coming to PlayStation 4 and 5 with the Godzilla DLC. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, love hearing that song in a trailer.
Hell yeah. V Rising, good game from yesteryear. Really, really good Diablo-like. I played it on PC. It's on Steam right now. It's pretty. If you like those kinds of Diablo-style like games, action-style RPG games, really, really cool. I really like it.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love some vampires.
Especially when you are one of them.
Yeah, could be worse.
And then, finally, the most successful PlayStation Studios movie ever made, Until Dawn, is getting a PS5 port. How many times will you play Until Dawn? I don't know. Sony says you should play Until Dawn again.
Yep. New paint job.
New paint job should be good. Now, we've got some new releases.
Of course. We like to give them to you every week because there's always something to enjoy in gaming.
Yeah, 100%, especially, after all of these new game release or announcements from the PlayStation State of Play. We're not going to be playing a lot of those games anytime soon, Drix. We're not going to be playing Death Stranding 2 anytime soon.
No, a lot of these awesome trailers were followed up with in development and
for the PlayStation
some
5.
of them, some of them like the one called Judas is like, where gameplay? What is the gameplay going to be like?
True, Judas
kind of like a new BioShock, but in space.
Yeah, another. I thought I had some footage of that one. That's another one I didn't have footage of. I'm excited for the concept of Judas, but again, where gameplay? Like, little taste of where gameplay,
combat.
Like,
yeah.
But we got some new releases for the week that you're going to be able to play either today or in a couple days.
Yes, for the week.
We're going to dive right in. First up, we have Persona 3.
Yeah, this is something we've been hearing about. We've been hearing about this since last year, and it's going to make its way to Game Pass.
Absolutely. Here we go, quote from the Steam page. Dive into the dark hour and awaken the depths of your heart. Persona 3 Reload is a captivating reimagining of the genre-defining RPG, reborn for the modern era with cutting-edge graphics and gameplay. And this is a remake of PS2 classic, and it's a must-play for any fan of the Persona franchise. This game goes live February 2nd, Friday, on Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, along with Steam, and as Drix said, this is a Game Pass inclusion. If you are a Game Pass subscriber, you can play it everywhere. Xbox, PC, everywhere. Streaming.
Yes, I'm definitely excited to dive into this one because it's totally one that I missed at the time, and not too unlike any of these other ports or remakes or reimagined paint jobs. Maybe it won't have as much of that brutal PS2 dungeon crawling to it, and will be a little more streamlined, kind of like my playthrough of Super Mario RPG.
100%. I always tell people this is the Persona that I like. I always think this is my favorite Persona, and then I remember, playing Persona 3 on the PS2. Even the ones like that, the special editions on the PSP, right? The Persona 3 Portable. Featuring Dante from Devil May Cry, is that port was a little bit super super duper grindy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping that this one really, really takes advantage of, like you said, the modernization of games like Super Mario RPG remake on the Switch. So, because that game was really, really good. I'm not saying that game needs to go the extra mile like Super Mario RPG did. That game added a whole fucking post game to it. But you could do a lot with all of this new tech that you have.
Yeah, you can't unlearn things that you learned the hard way.
Next up, we have Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It's,
DC fans rejoice.
Absolutely, from the Steam page. Quote, from the creators of Batman Arkham, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a genre-defying third-person action shooter where the ultimate band of misfits must do the impossible. Kill the Justice League. And this one is hitting the PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. It's not hitting the previous generation consoles. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to this one because I love the Suicide Squad, but Drix, this critical reception, it's not looking great.
Yeah, not looking too hot for the old Suicide Squad now, is it?
Nah. But I'm hoping that I'm gonna play it. So I'm hoping that it's because I've got a bunch of people who are willing to play multiplayer all with me, so I'll have a full squad. So let's see if this one, if it keeps our attention through the whole runtime, right?
Yeah, give it to the squad and see how the streets feel about it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one way to say about it, or one way to think about it. Streets of Metropolis in this case. And that is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That is, if you the early access edition is available now. You can play it right now if you got the digital deluxe edition or the physical deluxe edition. Or I think it's actually just the digital deluxe edition. You'll get a code and you can play it now. So for everybody else, just like Persona, that game hits us February 2nd, Friday.
Very
now,
nice.
Finally, we have Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Ooh, okay, yeah, a bit of a departure from what you might think or expect when you hear the word Grand Blue.
I don't know if a lot of people over here in the West really know what Grand Blue is unless you play fighting games. But I liked fighting games and I liked Grand Blue Fantasy. So, and that is finally our last big release of this week is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, as I said, from the Steam page. Quote, a grand adventure in the skies awaits. Form a party of four from a diverse roster of Skyfarers. And slash, or shoot, or hex your way to victory against treacherous foes in this action RPG. Take on quests solo or with the help of others in up to 4-player co-op play. Now, Grand Blue, like I said, it's one of those franchises big in Japan. It's not super big over here, though Grand Blue, the fighting game, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and the free-to-play remake that just came out, it definitely made an impact on the gaming scene, at least in the fighting game fan genre over here in the West. And I'm happy to see that it's from what I understand, it's like a gacha title over there in the East. So I'm happy to see it make its way over here in some sort of RPG fashion.
Yeah, I mean, we have diverse enough tastes over here in the States. We do enjoy a good RPG. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 proved that, right?
Absolutely. Turn-based is the most popular kind of video game, right?
Yeah, I mean, who wants to rush through anything, right?
Everyone has phones. So that's Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. The game releases for PS4, PS5, and PC today, January 31st. Grab your friends, go, and jump into this fantasy world. Finally, we've got just a few things really quick. We're gonna rapid fire these things at you. Sorry about that. One moment. We're gonna rapid fire this stuff at you to the Palworld B-roll. First off, straight off of the X account of Eidos, and this comes Eidos Montreal, I should say, and this comes hot off the heels of them canceling the latest Deus Ex game and restructuring under Embracer Group. they've released a statement. Quote, for the last 17 years, our teams at Eidos have worked on some of the most beloved brands in the industry, combining deep storytelling and innovation into unique games. We have created memorable multi-awarded experiences that we are proud of, and we know our team's members have put their heart and soul in all of them. The global economic context, the challenges of our industry, and the comprehensive restructuring announced by Embracer have finally impacted our studio. The difficult decision has been made to let go of 97 people from development teams, administration, and support services. We are working to support all impacted personnel through this transition. These are very talented, highly experienced people are entering the employment market. These very talented, and we want them to find their next projects and are helping them to do so. As we navigate these difficult times, the well-being of our team is our priority, and the continuous commitment to creating games that players will be able to enjoy in the nearby future. To our players, it's oftentimes not the best games, but the best game makers as well that we all celebrate and admire. Our commitment is always making the best games for our amazing fans, and even with this restructuring change, we continue to fight on to deliver those awesome experiences for us to share together. Thank you for continuing to support and well wishes. Eidos Montreal, legendary studio, unfortunately another victim of not just Embracer, but the echoing layoffs across the whole industry.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell by the wording of this X post that they're hoping for the best, looking on the bright side. It's nice to hear that they're doing what they can to help the staff laid off to find new projects. But yeah, layoff's a layoff. Just another transitional phase in the industry.
Unfortunately so. It just sounds, more and more layoffs are happening in this industry all the time, from Microsoft, Activision Blizzard to Eidos Montreal and Embracer. Just seems like people can't catch a break unless you are Pocket Pair, because from the Palworld ENX, the total number of players on Palworld exceeds 19 million. From the X post, quote, it's been less than 2 weeks since Palworld was released. Thank you. Steam, 12 million copies. Xbox, 7 million players. We will continue to prioritize fixing bugs. Thank you for continued support of Pocket Pair. Palworld, biggest game in the industry, Drix. Drix, how do you feel about this? Really quick. I want to gauge what your honest, because you haven't played Palworld, right?
No, I have not.
Outsider looking in, what do you think of this huge fucking phenomenon that's literally sweeping the entire industry, dude? That came out of nowhere. Or we knew it was coming, but
yeah, I might have even seen reels of it on TikTok pop up first, and that could have played a hand in such a successful release. Is just the right amount of content teasing out there in internet land. You show people something that's going to grab their interest, and it might just hold their attention long enough to get 19 million people playing.
But here's what I want to ask you, dude. As someone who hasn't touched the game yet, right? What do you What do you see the appeal? Do you
Yeah.
Would you pick this up and fucking play it?
Yeah, actually, this is really inching me a lot closer to even just getting a trial of Game Pass to try it out. It has that social aspect where I know people who are playing and would like to play with them. It's especially from the impressions you were giving us earlier, it seems like the survival game for people who don't like survival games, or at least who feel like most of them are a little too tedious and having to make your own fun. I did enjoy Ark. I think, Ark with Pokemon's a better way to describe it. But yeah, it's definitely something I got to experience for myself. We did kind of clear up, I think last week, that, they didn't actually just generate all these monsters with AI. But I see how you could think you just ran it through a Pokemon maker and it randomized a bunch of monsters together.
Yeah, especially with a couple of these.
That's fine. As a music aficionado, it's people don't want anything new. They want to just rediscover something old, but in a fresh and refreshing new way. So I think, yeah, like you said earlier, it might not do any of the mechanics particularly amazing, not reinventing any wheels, but altogether, like if you look at the sum of all its parts, it looks like a really good time, and you can't really blame people for getting hooked and really grinding away in Palworld with their pals.
Yeah, man. So there you have it, guys. There's a ton coming out. There's a ton already out. The year looked pretty front-loaded. It still looks kind of front-loaded even after the announcements we had at the PlayStation Stateofplay. It's still so like we're in for a sprint at the beginning of this year with all these crazy games, but games like Palworld stand the test of time and the lulls of the later on in the year? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, sometimes with any trend, whether it's a game or not, we'll start off strong, but it was just a phase, and we'll move on to something else.
Flavor of the month kind of thing,
Yeah, but it's another kind of heartwarming story of indie games doing what indie games do, and it's putting the industry, putting Game Freak, taking them off balance, keeping them on their toes. And maybe, these AAA people will be listening and try to learn something as to what it is the fans want and what's entertaining us and keeping us hooked on these games for hours at a time.
Playing.
Yeah, I mean, you can try to make sales all you want, but you got to understand the audience, the market, the art form. Everybody's got tastes and preferences, and not everything you put out is going to be for everybody. But this Palworld seems to have cast a really wide net, and the numbers prove it.
Yeah, the numbers prove it. So hey, you know what? Game Freak on watch.
Triumph or die!
And I want to thank everybody who has watched, for watching, or listening to CFM Radio with us tonight. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give us a like. Make sure you comment. Check out Drix's Super Mario RPG archives. They're right here on the channel. They're in the latest videos. They're all there. Check out the Retro Goldmine Dragon Force playthrough. It's all there. We won't continue next week because I'm gonna try something a little different. I'm gonna try to run Jade Cocoon off of my mini PlayStation first. So I'm gonna see if I can get that hooked up. If I can get that hooked up, we're gonna play it. We're gonna hit the ground running this Tuesday. CFM on Twitch, twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch. Make sure you're following us on there. If I can't get that going on by this Tuesday, I will send out a notice, and I'll just start playing it however I can play it for the next time, because I want to hit the ground running next Tuesday, but we're gonna see if I can get it onto the mini, because that would be the best way to get it onto my TV to get the best quality for the stream. So Drix is also gonna jump on. We're gonna jump on something. We'll see what he picks. But
Retro Goldmine shall be mine.
Exactly. Drix is gonna delve into the mines. But thank you very much for listening. Got a lot of games to look forward to. Got a lot of games to play right now. Rev up those Game Pass subscriptions. Play yourself some Palworld. Play yourself some Persona. Play yourself some Like a Dragon.
Dragon's Dogma 2.
Dragon's
coming
Dogma
soon.
2 is coming soon.
In development.
Infinite wealth. But from all of us to all of you, thank you very much, and we'll catch you next week.